Good Friday morning, and thank you for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your Friday headlines. Our top story this morning, air traffic is slowly getting back to normal after a massive outage delayed thousands of flights. Right now, the FAA is investigating exactly what caused the outage that caused a 2-hour ground stop, including at MSP. Audrey Russo is here with details.
Good morning. You know exactly what you don't want during summer vacation season. You can see on FlightAware's misery map where the delays really started to pile up around dinner time. This was around 6 o'clock last night. You can see out of MSP, all these circles represent different airports. MSP had at that point about 67 delays and 4 cancellations, all due to what the FAA describes as a telecommunications issue. Now look at the flight radar thinning out over the upper Midwest until there were barely any planes in the airspace. Now, in a statement, the FAA says they're investigating exactly what happened. Now, we spoke to an aviation consultant who says that the airlines have invested in systems to help resolve issues like this one, adding that all things considered, normal flights resumed fairly quickly.
Anything made by the hand of man can break, and occasionally it will. It's how fast you recover from it, and it looks like in this case, they recovered pretty good.
Now, according to the FAA website, the agency is halfway through a $12 billion project aimed at replacing outdated systems, including telecommunication equipment. Now, right now at MSP, we're seeing about 5 cancellations and 1 delay, so quite the change from yesterday. Back to you.
We have to get to breaking news out of Thailand this morning. Police say at least 8 people are dead, including a gunman after a shooting at a school outside of Bangkok. Police say the gunman, a 14-year-old, shot and killed his grandparents before going on a rampage at the school and then turning the gun on himself. Several others are hospitalized as well. This is the country's deadliest school shooting in years. Right now, police are actively investigating. Today, the father accused of killing his son, Manny Collins, will be in court for his pretrial hearing. Jordan Collins, Sr., was charged with second-degree murder last July after officials found Manny's remains in an Elk River landfill. Collins Sr. is currently being held at Anoka County Jail on a $2 million bond. He will be representing himself at the hearing, and his trial is scheduled for September 8th. New updates on a deal involving the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's state news agency says Iran and Oman are close to agreeing on new arrangements, but the strait will not be fully reopened. The final deal is expected to be announced sometime today. Meanwhile, President Trump is pushing back against reports that he's upset with his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth. The two allegedly had a tense conversation this week over weapons shortages in Iran. Trump says he's, quote, extremely happy with the work that Hegseth is doing and that the U.S. has a massive amount of weapons still available. Developing this morning, President Trump is also taking another shot at fulfilling one of his top second-term promises, restricting birthright citizenship. The president signing 2 executive orders Thursday that he says will curb birth tourism. Chris Pallone has all the details.
The Supreme Court ruled against President Trump's first attempt at restricting birthright citizenship, a right guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. Critics predict these new executive orders will meet the same fate. After losing at the Supreme Court in June, President Trump is taking another shot at restricting birthright citizenship.
Unfortunately, we had a bad decision, very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
The president signing 2 executive orders Thursday, taking a more narrow approach to stop the children born to non-citizens in the U.S. from automatically being granted U.S. citizenship.
We're cracking down very big crackdowns, and this will give us the right to do it in a much more forceful manner.
In a narrow June decision, the Supreme Court shot down President Trump's first attempt at restricting the right guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. The new executive orders are more focused, denying automatic citizenship to children of foreign diplomatic staff working in the U.S., children of people classified as alien enemies, children born in U.S. territories if Congress changes the law, and children born to mothers taking part in so-called birth tourism.
They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen.
If you're telling a consular officer you're here as a tourist, but your true purpose and intent is to go to a baby mill, give birth, and try to mint an American citizen while you're here, then you're committing a fraud against the American government.
The Trump administration says it will also deny visas to some pregnant women trying to enter the U.S. Several civil rights groups say they'll challenge the new orders in court. The nation's largest Hispanic civil rights group called the new executive orders another effort to demonize black and brown immigrants. And the ACLU said no matter how many executive orders President Trump signs, birthright remains the law of the land. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
In less than 1 week, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey will deliver this year's budget address. And according to him, the city is facing a big problem. And in order to address it, Frey says the city needs to get more realistic about budgeting police overtime. The city is likely to exceed its police overtime budget by nearly $23 million this year. Mayor Frey says overtime soared after the city lost hundreds of officers after the murder of George Floyd in 2020. But the added cost was canceled out by savings they had due to all the vacant positions. But in the last year, he says hiring is way up, as well as demand for overtime due to emergencies like the Annunciation shooting and Operation Metro Surge. We expect to learn more details at Wednesday's address. Right now, we're hearing from Hennepin County Sheriff Dewana Witt, who says the Trump administration is threatening criminal charges against her for the county's policy of not working with ICE. The sheriff's office shared an example of a subpoena it received from Homeland Security and ICE, demanding they turn over an inmate to appear before an immigration judge. Under current Hennepin County policy, the sheriff's office does not play any role in immigration enforcement and only turns over inmates with a signed warrant from a judge. Witt says that policy is not changing, especially after a federal judge upheld it as legal.
There's been multiple letters that have been sent to me since July 4th, and I just don't get it. I don't get why they're doing this. They know very well that I am following the law, Minnesota laws. I am upholding our Constitution.
Now, in a statement, DHS said that this isn't news and the Trump administration did this during his first term, adding, quote, non-cooperative jurisdictions have a choice. Stop harboring criminal illegal aliens and releasing them into our communities, or work with ICE to make America safe again, unquote. Well, right now, dozens of northeastern Minnesota businesses and nonprofits are asking for economic support again for devastating wildfires in and around the BWCA. In a letter to Governor Walz and state lawmakers, the organizations are pleading for a special session, saying the fires are disrupting their livelihoods and they need help now. If a special session is not called, the organizations ask lawmakers to prioritize an assistance package as soon as they reconvene in January. Governor Walz indicated a special session is unlikely. Some dramatic new video this morning from the tornado in northeast Wisconsin, all caught on a police officer's dash cam. Take a look. A Fox Crossing officer pulled over to track the July 27th storm as it moved in, and conditions quickly got worse, as you can see. You can see branches and debris hit the windshield along with heavy rain as the EF3 tornado tore through town. Amazingly, despite all the devastation there, no one died in that storm. A familiar view is lighting up the St. Paul skyline once again. The iconic sign on the First National Bank building in downtown is shining again after a relighting ceremony last night. A really cool image there with all the fireworks coming up. The city hoping this will be a call to bring people back into downtown. The building was purchased by an out-of-town investor, Jamie Rand, who sees this as a beacon of light for a city that's faced a lot of negativity. He says this is a first step in revitalizing downtown. He hopes people will see this building is open for business and hopes to announce some big leases inside the building pretty soon.
There are several buildings I have my eye on. I have 2 LOIs, letters of intent, out. I thought I was going to hear yesterday and I was going to be able to make an announcement today on another building, but it hasn't. They're not ready yet. They're trying to get the sign off from the bank. So I'm not stopping here. I believe in St. Paul. I believe in downtown.
So the sign was lit up red last night. Eventually it'll change colors, but that will take about 6 months to complete. He hopes people see this building is open for business and hopes to announce some big leases inside that building soon. Happening this weekend, Target Field is getting taken over. The Savannah Bananas are playing 3 games this weekend, and this is no ordinary baseball games if you know the Savannah Bananas. Megan McPherson is at Target Field to explain this unique and very popular league.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Savannah Bananas, they call their version of baseball the greatest show in sports. And if you've seen any of their videos, I think that is definitely true. They're bringing Banana Ball here to Target Field for the first time ever. All 3 games, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, sold out. It's going to be a very busy weekend. And you guys asked about merch last week. I know that, or last 30 minutes, not last week, but we actually are getting a little bit of a peek into the tent here. I hope the Savannah Bananas don't sue us for this or something because we're showing the merch too early, but I did get a look in there and there's some pretty cool jerseys. There's so much good stuff. I know that their merch probably does great in terms of sales, but let's talk about Banana Ball. It was created by the Savannah Bananas to reimagine the sport with one goal: to keep fans entertained every single second. The game features 11 unique rules designed to speed things up, including no walks, a point per inning scoring system, and if a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. You'll also see a lot of dancing and fan interactions, very similar to their TikTok videos. Target Field is also leaning into the theme with special banana-inspired food this weekend. That includes a pork sandwich with sweet plantains. They've got nachos topped with banana peppers and Savannah Bananas donuts. Sounds so good. The players will be doing meet and greets today and tomorrow. Today, they're going to be at the Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Lakeville from 9 to 11. And then tomorrow from 9 to 11 as well, they're going to be at Dunkin' in Roseville to meet some fans. Now, just know that there are a lot of street closures. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are definitely a couple street closures that you should know about here around Target Field for the games. So just keep that in mind. Head to the MLB website. If you look up MLB Savannah Bananas Minneapolis, there's a lot of information on their page there. Also, it's just going to be such a busy weekend here with the Lynx playing at Target Center and then the Wicked production still going on at the Orpheum. So be sure to get here early. I know that there are still some resale tickets available too if you do want to come down here, but the game's also going to be on ESPN tonight at 7. Back to you.
Should be a great time in downtown Minneapolis. Stick with us, everyone. More news and weather coming up right after the break.